Well, I want to share a story with you all that I haven't told anybody. Well, I've told a small, close group of friends. It's a story I'm ashamed of. It's affected me for a lot of years. But somewhere between my sophomore and junior year of college, I dropped out, and I didn't tell my family for 2 years. And that was a very interesting roller coaster ride that I went on. So the whole reason why, I was never really a good student in school as it is. My senior year, I was a lost soul. Both my parents had, basically, I don't want to say they abandoned me, but they weren't in my life my senior year. I was basically a foster child, no rules. I was partying. Our neighbor held parties for high school kids, which super illegal, but for us, free drinks and drugs, it was pretty cool. I always wanted to go to college. I wanted the college experience. I wanted to live on campus, play football, and it was obtainable. But when I graduated school, high school, my family that kind of got back into my life, they were pulling me in the direction of what they wanted my life to be. So their whole thing was community college, save money, this, that, and the third. And I wasn't particularly excited about it to begin with. So I kind of went into college with a fuck it type of mindset. And when I started college, I got a job working at a before and after school program. And I learned a lot. I was taught a lot. I worked with broken families. I worked with families who had their shit together. And for me, it was a rewarding feeling to provide something for children that, shit that I didn't have growing up. I coached sports. We won football championships. We was doing science. I even taught the kids how to gamble. We were playing poker and blackjack. It was a lot of fun. Couple years into school, I got promoted to actually be the director of my own program, which came with more responsibility, longer working hours. And I don't want to say it was impossible to juggle school. It's just I wasn't in it. Maybe other people, but the fucking college experience that I missed out on kind of just pushed me away to it. And I was making money. Like, to be honest with you, I grew up, I didn't have a whole lot of money in my childhood, so I'm making good money. So I decided to quit school. My grades sucked. It was midterms. And I waited a few weeks before I told anybody in my family. But the family members that I held off telling the most were my grandparents that I was living with during the time. I was living with them so I could go to school. And I told my mom that I had dropped out, but I asked her to promise me not to tell, my grandparents, which were her parents, which just kind of shows you how fucked up and messed up our family is. And I'm asking my mom to lie to her parents about my failure in the education system. It was bad. And I always knew I had to say something to them, but I always just held it off. And it fucked with me. I'm talking like it was the last thing I thought of before I went to sleep. It's the first thing I thought of when I woke up in the morning, and I just kept holding it off. Holidays sucked. When my mom came around, like, my mom is known for ruining surprises and secrets, and I was like, oh, fuck, it's going to be Christmas when she tells the family that I ain't shit. And this is with my grandparents. So it's my mom's dad and his wife. She's Chinese American, and I don't believe a lot in stereotypes, but Asian parents and grandparents really do give a fuck about school. So I was fucking terrified to tell my Chinese grandmother that I had brought shame and dishonor to the family, okay? It was the scariest thing ever. And when we did holidays with that side of the family, it was her and her family. So, like, it was just my mom and my black ass with all these Asian people. And to them, like, I was still in school. So I was worried. And so I always told myself, all right, when the semester ends, in between semesters, I'm going to let them know, that I fucked up. But I never did. And then you fast forward a couple years later, now I'm in what they think is my senior year of college. So I'm a senior now in school in their eyes. And I told myself, I can't have them believing that I'm a college graduate. I got to say something. Like, there's just something, like, I can't keep this secret in. And I just couldn't do it. So time keeps going by. And then I remember in particular, I had dinner with my grandparents one night. And they said when my sister Shayna graduates college for real, he wanted to take all of us to Germany. That was his home country. And I'm thinking like, all right, I got to say something now because my grandfather's about to spend thousands of dollars to take our black asses to Germany and celebrating 2 college graduations. So I'm like, all right, this is my moment. This is when I got to say something. Did I say something? Hell fucking no. Because I was scared. Because like, now I'm at the point where it's like it's like so much time had gone by, so much time had passed that when I do reveal this information, it was only going to hurt them that much more. And I didn't know how I was going to say anything. But I knew I had to say something before my sister graduated college because I can't let them believe that they have 2 college graduates. Like, let's just keep it at 1. You know, I'll tag out and my sister can tag in with her real diploma. So yeah, I'm about a year in. I've graduated college for a year now, in their eyes. And the thing is like they would ask me questions like, all right, what classes are you taking right now? And I would make some shit up, like classes that don't even make sense. Like I'm taking fucking like, criminology 402 or something like that. And I was like, there's no way they could believe the shit that I'm telling them. And they would ask me how was I doing on my exams, and I'd be like, all right, I'm doing, got a C, I know you're not happy with that, Grandma, but it's passing. It was tough. It was tough because I knew I was literally every single day living with the people that were taking care of me, and I was lying to them, and it felt awful. What I was doing during the times I was supposed to be in school, if I wasn't working, I would spend all day at the fucking gym. I was in the best shape of my life when I was, catfishing my family through school. It was fucking very shameful. So fast forward, my sister's getting ready to graduate. Okay, so it's like I have to say something. I can't fuck up my sister's proudest moment with my bullshit. I have to actually speak to my family and say something. So the day before my sister graduates, I'm gonna go up to her school. And celebrate, party with her the day before when I got off of work. My grandparents they were in Vegas, and they were going to fly in from Vegas and go straight to the graduation. So I was so stressed out. I got so fucking shit-faced. You would have thought I was a college student for real. I was on that campus getting it in. I didn't know how I was going to say anything. I still hadn't said anything, and my sister was getting ready to graduate the next day. So late Friday night, I got a text from my grandparents, and they were saying they're about to get on the plane, and they're going to fly into, to the college town for the graduation. So in my head, I was like, this is the perfect opportunity. They're on a plane, which means their phone's going to be turned off, which means when I call them, it's going to go straight to voicemail. So instead of even having a conversation with them, I was just going to leave a voicemail saying how I basically have been lying to them for the last 2.5 years. So I called, so bad. I called them, got the voicemail, and I was basically like, hey, I know you guys are in flight. I tried to catch you before you got on the plane, which was a lie. That was my last lie of this whole chapter. I was like, but I just want to let you know. I just told them, yeah, I dropped out. I wasn't feeling it, and I've been trying to say something for a while, but I didn't know the words to say to make it, happen. And I remember the next day I was like, nervous as hell to see their face when they at the graduation. Obviously they were pissed the fuck off, but the hurt and the shame in their eyes, it really, really fucked with me. I had only told, while I was going through this situation, I only had told a couple of friends, and every time I see them, they would, bust my balls like, you still catfishing your grandparents? And I would laugh and we would have fun with it, but in the back of my head, I was like, I'm such a fucked up person for this. And after the fact, we had a long talk. They didn't disown me. They didn't abandon me. I think it was just more so the fact that I had let them down, and I had created a whole bunch of shit in my head of what I thought was going to happen. But what I realized was, in that whole situation, the lesson I learned is that I should have just started doing what the fuck I wanted to do. Like after high school, I should have just said, fuck it, I'm going to go away and live on dorm and get thousands of dollars into debt and do shit the way I wanted to do it. Because in trying to appease other people, I ended up only hurting them and hurting myself. And that's why I do comedy now. Like my family, they support what I do, but they're not full in support. Like we don't have conversations to talk about the bits I'm working on or the shit that we do in this game, because comedy is a very lonely arena, and the longer you do it, the more lonely it gets. I've detached myself from the people I love, but I also do this for the people I love. So now I'm upfront with them about it. And we're in a better spot, but they've always looked at me differently since then. But I guess in a nutshell, that's my story of how I catfished my family into being a college graduate. One day this is going to be funny on stage, okay? And when you do want to decide to check it out, you can follow me on Instagram at A Night of Comedy. That's A and then night spelled with a K of comedy. Yeah, cool.